Tonight we will be reviewing the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible. Hi, this is Christopher Nino Arca from the City of God Ministry, and now you are watching our Bible review program. We are here from the City of God Ministry in Manila, Philippines. All right. So before we dive in, please kindly subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell as well, so that the algorithm of YouTube will inform you real time whenever we upload new videos. And if you like what we do here, please click on like and post any comment. You can help the City of God Ministries YouTube channel grow by doing all this stuff. So just a brief overview before we dive in, before we do this review of the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible. I just received this Bible from Cambridge, actually from a few days ago. For a time, I was actually conversing with Amanda via email, asking her if there are any King James that is in a single column paragraph format, because all I ever knew was a verse by verse in a 2-column format of the King James, where it was very confusing to know where the paragraph actually starts. So she told me about this new paragraph Bible from Cambridge. Shout out to Miss Amanda. This is a very wonderful KJV. This Bible was actually sent to us for free here in exchange for an honest review. Miss Amanda actually did share some information about this specific edition of the KJV, which we would like to share to all of our viewers. Today's standard editions of the King James, or the authorized version, do not follow the 1611. Especially, this is the example that we will also be comparing this time. This is the KJV from Holman. But that established by the Oxford 1769. The text that we usually now know, which of the KJV, follows the Oxford 1769. The reader is therefore faced with a 17th century text in mid-18th clothes that are neither original nor actually modern. So for this new edition, David Norton has painstakingly collated the established text of the KJV with the translator's original notes. This new edition presents the text as the original translators intended it, but with consistent modern spelling and presentation for ease of use. In a textual history of the King James Bible, a book written by David Norton, he presents the history of the authorized King James Version of 1611, giving an illuminating explanation of how this translation was conceived and developed by the translators, and later shaped for better or for worse by later generations of printers and editors. The book incorporates, this specific book incorporates lists of variant readings in the early editions and an account by Benjamin Blaney of the principles he employed in his 1769 revision. Now, let us take a closer look at the Bible itself. Besides premium Bibles, I do actually love a really well-made hardback edition of the Bible. So this new Cambridge Paragraph Bible actually has excellent craftsmanship put into this edition. The design of the dust jacket puts much historicity in the Bible. It shows that this edition is sort of a going back into the classics. The sketch here, actually this is the front cover, so the sketch here is the King's College Chapel in Cambridge. quite telling us of the royalty lineage of the King James Bible. And if you remove the dust jacket, so if you remove the dust jacket, this Bible looks like a shiny leather hardback. Very simple, actually, very simple. And the leather feel of this feels really nice. It is actually smooth but not slippery. And the spine, we have tooled lines instead of erased spine knobs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then, as you can see, we have the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible, the King James, and the Apocrypha, and here we have that emblem of Cambridge. And mind you, the physical part here, simple yet elegant. And here with the dust jacket, there are a lot of information that you can find here, especially with the inner flaps. You could pause this video if you would like to read it. And of course, there are little detail here about let me just focus that for you here. There are little detail information about David Norton, and we have the different options for this specific Bible. And here at the back, you would find there little details about that. And here the sample text, which you will find inside. Now this Bible is printed in Italy by Lego, and here's the ISBN number. There are no retail price info here, but if you can take a look at the retail information through the ISBN number. Here's the ISBN, and here is the website of Cambridge. As you can see, this is one thick Bible. And to give you a brief comparison, I have here the 400th anniversary edition of the King James, and this one is from Thomas Nelson. If there, they have the same length. Unfortunately, this one is thinner than Cambridge's. And if you want to take a look with the edition from Holman has a longer text block actually than that from Cambridge, but Cambridge is thicker than Holman. You will see the factor why this one is thicker than Holman. For the width, they have almost the same amount. Okay, so the thickness of this Bible, sorry about that, the thickness of this Bible is estimated at an inch and 3/4. The length of this Bible is 8 1/4 inches, and the width is 5.5 inches. As you can see, this Bible is sewn binding. You could see also the head and tail bands. You could actually see the signatures there, so you would notice that this is a sewn binding. There are no art or gold gilding, not even one ribbon marker, but that's fine as long as you have a good bookmark, like this one provided to us by Cambridge. Actually, you should get one of these. Alright, so as you open this Bible, you could see that this has a paste down cardstock liner, 2 in front. We have 2 in front and also 2 at the back. There. And here we have the title page, Yeah, the King James Paragraph Bible with the Apocrypha, King James Version, edited by David Norton, and we have the Cambridge University Press down below. This edition is with the Apocrypha. I remember Miss Amanda informed me before that because the edition with the Apocrypha actually sells better. So what they did is to actually finish the batch which does not have the Apocrypha, but printed more editions with the Apocrypha instead. Sorry about that. And here is the copyright page. Here are all the details. Now this edition has the royal seal printed in let's wait for that. This one is camera's focus just for a second. Okay, so this one has the royal seal. And now we also have here the table of contents. We also have the editor's introduction, which we will actually return to later on. And this is what I love about this edition. Let me show that to you. You know, the Holy Bible containing the Old and the New Testament, and this is what I love about this edition. We have the dedicatory to the Most High and Mighty Prince James, by the grace of God, Great Britain, and we also have here with this edition the translators to the readers, which other KJVs do not have, but only the 1611 and some other copies that retains this text block. And so when we go right into the text block, there you have the first book of Moses, called Genesis. This is a very clean layout. The small font is compensated actually with the space, which makes this very readable. Let me give you an example. Now, to give you a closer look at what I'm talking about. Well, as you can see, this is a single column text. This is a single column text with the translator's notes in the inner margin. There are no book introductions here, but the presentation of the text is carefully laid out. Every book actually starts fresh in its own page. I'm not sure though about the GSM of this Bible, but I underlined a text in the introduction with a pencil, and the thickness was good enough not to feel the impression of the pressure of the line that I made. Honestly speaking, this is an excellent reader's edition of the King James. You won't notice much of the verse numbers here. You won't notice much because the verse numbers are small, but the chapter numbers will help you track where you are at. Page numbers are aligned with the outer margin, and you will notice that as I was turning the pages, there are no subheadings, which makes your reading experience really smooth. That is what I love about this edition. It is a novel type, and the feel of the Bible, you will see that the texts are very line matched. The feel is really smooth. This is what I love about this edition. And as you go deeper into the pages of the Bible, you will see, of course, like what I said earlier, that the texts are line matched. The prose section is really wonderful. Wait till you get to the poetry section. Here in the book of Psalms, this is how poetry should actually look like. The poetic style, very clean. Right, so the books of the Apocrypha is between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And as you get into the section, you will notice that the page numbers starts fresh. It goes back to 1, 2, 3. As you can see here, we are in the middle of the book, and then we are back in 4. And the same order of the page numbers are the same with the New Testament. The order of the books of the Apocrypha here, it sort of follows the order of the books of the Apocrypha in 1611. I'm not sure, I'm not right if I'm right, but I did some comparison with the 1611, the anniversary edition that I have, and it follows. And there are spellings of names you might not be familiar with, like here in First Esdras. The camera is not that clear here, but we are in First Esdras chapter 5, and here in verse 7, this is the name of Nebuchadnezzar, but here in the KJV it is written as Nabuchodonosor, the king of Babylon. Sorry about that. So there is no error. That's what I'm just saying. And here in the New Testament, the words of Christ are in black, and any references to the Old Testament is hardly noticeable because being printed as part of the text. The inner margin, it does not have that. As I was saying earlier, the inner margin, if it does not have notes, it could be estimated to 1.5 inches. The outer margin, 1/3 of an inch. The top and the bottom, 1/2 inch. There are no maps at the back, so here we have just the text itself and the translator's notes. For me, this actually looks like a mid-sized Bible. Its thickness is fine by me to bring it around, but the weight is a big factor for me to carry this Bible. I underlined some statements here that I would like to share with you. This New Cambridge Paragraph Bible is the translator's Bible. And as we go down, here it writes, the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible keeps the modernization within strict limits. Spellings may be modernized, but words and grammatical forms cannot be changed. Here, the editors commented that, in short, what the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible does is to modernize the spelling of the Bible without sinning against the language of the translators. And also that here, what the New Cambridge Paragraph Bible does is to present the entire text in paragraphs that conform as far as possible to present-day ideas of paragraphing. This contributes to the aim of making the King James Bible as readable and comprehensible as possible without falsifying the essentials of the translator's works. And lastly, the King James translators were instructed that no marginal notes at all were to be affixed, but only for the explanation of the Hebrew or Greek words which cannot, without some circumlocution, so briefly and fitly be expressed in the text. I mean, these are all good comments for this specific edition of the King James. In this part of the review, I'd like to make just a brief comparison also regarding the print quality that I noticed. This is actually what I would like to compare here is page 1174 and 1176. Page 1174, it's sort of, I am not sure if the camera is actually getting this, but for my eyes, I could see that there is a big difference in terms of the shade. I mean, 1176 is darker than 1174. I would like to make some, we will be making some comparisons here of the KJV. Okay, so here with the Cambridge, we'll start with, I picked some random verses. We'll start with Isaiah 12 verse 1. Here with the Cambridge, it reads, "And in that day thou shalt say, O Lord, I will praise thee. Though thou wast angry with me, thy anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me." Now, let me show this to you. Let me show to you 16:11. Here it says, "And in that day thou shalt say, O Lord, I will praise thee. Though thou wast angry," the spelling of angry is different here with me. Thine with the 1611 is thy with the rest of the KJV. Anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. And I would like to show you the KJV of Holman. Sorry about that. "And in that day thou shalt say, O Lord, I will praise thee. Though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me." Now you could see some differences with the text of Cambridge, of Holman, and with the facsimile of the 1611 that I have here, the anniversary copy. The next verse that I would like to compare with is Isaiah 42 verse 1. Here with the Cambridge, it reads, "Behold my servant whom I uphold, my elect in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him, he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles." And I would like to show to you my 1611. "Behold my servant whom I uphold, mine elect in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him, he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles." And now here with the Holman that I have, "Behold my servant whom I uphold, mine elect in whom my soul delighteth. I put my spirit upon him, he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles." So the reason that I compared some of the text is to show you the differences with what they have actually with the modern text, with the Cambridge, and also with the 1611. So what can I say about this new Cambridge Paragraph Bible? Well, so it is not just that this is the KJV that has the most appealing format textually, but this modern edition has what I am looking for that no other KJV has. Although this, in terms of its size, makes this a mobile Bible, for me this would be my bedside Bible. I have found the KJV that I am looking for. And this is what we have right now here. I will put the link down below where you could purchase one of these. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. Keep calm, Jesus on. Keep safe, and God bless.